Here we go again. Today we are back for another mock draft on the channel. We're starting ourselves off with the Las Vegas. I was gonna say Oakland, but the Las Vegas Raiders. And there's no doubt about it. I mean, this one's pretty much the easiest pick in the draft. This is Fernando Mendoza. There was talk between him and Dante Moore before, but now it's pretty much all set in stone. None of this bullshit of down whatever, not happening. The Raiders, Mark Davis, not happening. Pick 2 with the New York Jets. This team is a clown show. Now, I had a lot of hope for the Jets going forward. I was hoping they'd get Dante Moore. I was hoping they would bring back Tull, support Garrett Wilson, support Taylor, a second round tight end I do like. And they fire their OC. He leaves. Now, he was one of the only encouraging things on that team last year. What the fuck are we doing? Now we're going to bring in Frank Reich, Todd Monken. Sorry, not Todd Monken. Greg Roman. Are we fucking dead ass, bro? Aaron Glenn wants to be fired. The GM doesn't want to be there. The owners fucking lost it, bro. This is an absolute clown show. So I don't even know what they're going to do at this pick. I really don't, because this team doesn't know how to do anything right ever. But the pick here for me is Arvell Reese. I still think he's the best player available for their needs. Jeremiah Love, I guess, is in play. Caleb Downs, really, basically anybody is in play here for them. There's not really one clear need. So I'm going to go Arvell Reese. And then we move on to the Arizona Cardinals, who are without a head coach. So it's a little hard scenario to pick for here. I'm going to go with what I think, and I'm going to go with an offensive tackle. I'm going to go with Spencer Fano. Him and Moaga have really risen up the boards. I do still think he's going to go in the top 7, and today I'm going to be picking him over Ruben Bain or Bailey or whoever the hell really else. And I think Fano is the best tackle in the class. Although Moaga is very good, I still think he's going to be a top 7 pick. I just don't think he's there. With the Tennessee Titans, who just hired Robert Saleh, they also hired Brian Dable as the OC. They could take Jeremiah Love. It's definitely not out of question because Pollard and Tyjae Spears. That doesn't move the needle a lot. But this team also needs offensive tackle. Moag is definitely in play. I think this receiver's in play too. Tyson or Tate, even Lemon. A little more of a reach with Lemon here probably. But I'm going to go Ruben Bain because I really do think that Saleh is going to go right after the defense. This team needs a bat badly. They need an edge rusher. And now with Jeffrey Simmons, him and Bain, obviously Bain's real weakness is arm length. Besides that, his game is very, very good. I think this is just a perfect spot for him, and I think he would be really, really good there. So, moving on to pick 5 with the New York Giants. Now, I do think Wan'Dale Robinson is going to go back. The report is he will go back. I don't think they're going to take receiver. I still think it's going to be Caleb Downs. I think if not, then it's probably Tate. But I don't see anything else here. I think it's Caleb Downs. He's just the guy there for me. Now with the Cleveland Browns at pick 6, I'm between two things. I don't think it's an edge rusher. I believe it was Daniel Jeremiah who posted his, and he had them taking edge rusher. I don't love that. Obviously Jeremiah Love, they're not going to take. They have Quinshon Judkins. Dylan Sampson's not bad either. Rocket Sanders if he sticks around. I'm going to go Moaga here. I think offensive tackle's huge need for this team. It's really that in receiver, and I think this receiver class is good enough, and I think Moaga is just the better talent, and I think he's just that lever above. There's not really clear wide receiver one. It's not like Chase or even Waddle or Devonta Smith, where it's like, oh, they should just take him right there. Nah, I don't see it. Now with the Washington Commanders, pick number 7, could they take Love? I do think they could, but I still think they're gonna rock with Krosky Merritt, Chris Rodriguez, and probably bring in a guy like Rashad White, Tyler Algier, somebody who's not going to take a lot of work, but if they needed to, they could, and I think they could be good. I do think the pick here is also going to be David Bailey. This is a very good edge rusher class, and David Bailey is part of that, and he's very good. He's Bane. I've seen mocks where he goes above Bane as well. Um, yeah, and I think he'd be such a good pick for them. They really need an edge rusher. They have been fucking horrible all season at the edge rusher spot. Even last year, they weren't that good. And I think that just goes hand in hand. Now, with the New Orleans Saints, I'm going to go with Cornell Tate. I do think he's the pick here. I do think they could take Lemon because I think he would fit them really well. Kind of just the downfield guy they already have with Lave and they already have Tyson. I do think Lemon is totally in tension here. Obviously, he's only rank 11. I think it's really between him and Tate. I do think Lemon is probably. I actually think Lemon is a better prospect than Tate. It kind of just depends on how they want to pick. I think Lemon is basically. I mean, his comps are JSN and Amon-Ra St. Brown. I mean, can't get really better than that. I'm kind of just talking myself into taking Lemon here. I do think he's going to be the best receiver from this class. As of now, I mean, every number you look at through college, he's just dominant. I mean, size is worse, obviously, for him, and he is dominant in command zone, whatever the hell it is. Doesn't matter. He's fought through bad QB play. Mahayava's not that good. This is the guy to take, and I think in New Orleans with Kellen Moore and Shuck, I think he'd be disgusting. So I'm going to switch my pick from Tate to Lemon here, and I'm going to move on to the Kansas City Chiefs, who could take receiver, who totally could. We don't really know because Rashee Rice is case and whatever the fuck's going to happen with that. We don't know anything, right? So I'm going to go with Jeremiah Love, which is continuously what I just think they're going to do. They need a running back. Pacheco's a free agent. They're just a fucking lost cause at running back since Kareem Hunt left, basically, in, 2019 or 2018? So, yeah, I think this is the play here to take Love, get that surefire running back for Mahomes. That would be huge for that offense. That really needs help probably post Kelsey. Who knows? We still don't know what he's going to decide on. Now, pick 10. This is hard because, again, there are a couple different positions you could go and take. I think Sonny Styles is in play, Peter Woods, Jermon McCoy, Mansour Delane. I'm going to go with Delane today. He was obviously the best cornerback in college football this season. McCoy was the best one the prior, but the advantage he has is that he was healthy in 25. I'm going to go with the guy that is more of a sure thing compared to what they usually do, where they take a risky guy, like they took Shamar Stewart last year. And let's not get into the other years because it's not great either. So pick 11 here with Miami. I'm gonna go with Cornell Tate. I think I just think he's a good player. I don't think and I think he's just safer than Tyson. I think they're just going to try and get a guy who's going to be good for this team. And I think that's just Tate. He's just a very solid player. He's a good wide receiver, too. I mean, if they want to put Waddle at the 2 or 1, whatever, I just think he would fit perfectly there. We don't know what they're going to do at quarterback. I think Willis could be good. Quinn Ewers, I really don't know because we just don't know enough yet. But now with the Dallas Cowboys, I think the easy pick for me here is just Sonny Styles. He is arguably a top 10, top 8 prospect in this draft, and I just think he just keep going up. He was very good this year. Obviously, safety and defensive back in high school. He's very, very quick, and he's just such a beast. It's just hard to draft a linebacker really high because it's not happened in a while. I believe the last one might have been Devin White. That didn't really work out too well. So yeah. Now I'm gonna go with pick 13 here. I really want to take Tyson because I do really think they could take a receiver, but I also do think Jermon McCoy is the pick. this is just like such a home run pick for McVay and the GM. Like I said, he's a very good player. He just needs to be healthy, and obviously he wasn't healthy in 2025. But 2024, he was the best corner in college football, so can't go wrong there. Now, Baltimore, I really want to take Peter Woods as well, but it's him or Tyson, and I'm very torn on it. I just don't know what they're going to do. Jesse Minter's coming in as a defensive coordinator. Obviously, you want to help your quarterback as well. Obviously, Jay Flowers and not a lot else out there, but I still think Peter Woods is going to be the. I just think he's as solid as a prospect you could get. Defensive line guy. This is a good defensive line class. Caleb Banks as well. Aiden McDonald from Ohio State as well. But I just think that's a perfect guy for the Ravens. Obviously, like I've said the last couple times, they usually have had like very good defensive tackles for basically my entire life. Um, you know, Madubuike, Michael Pierce, Haloti Nagata. The list goes on. I just think Peter Woods is just another guy on that list, and I think with Madubuike probably retiring, this is just a good pick here, really. Now with Tampa, could they take Tyson? Mike Evans, we don't know what's going to happen. Chris Godwin obviously played better than I thought he would. I really did think he might have been cooked. Jalen McMillan, obviously Kuka. I just don't see them taking a receiver here. Would they go a defensive end? I don't think so. I actually kind of like the idea of Sadiq again here. He's still a very good prospect, and I still think the pro day or combine could really raise his stock too. I just think he's just Kate Otten's just a guy, and Sadiq could really be a game offense that really needs to do well, or Todd Bowles isn't going to keep his job. And I think that's going to be my pick here. Kind of a weirder one because I really would consider Falk and Howell there, but I'm going to go with Sadiq instead, just a little out of the reach, basically. Now, at pick number 16, I think this is just an obvious pick. I think the pick is Jordan Tyson. I think him with Garrett Wilson, Mason Taylor would be awesome. Breece Hall, maybe they keep back. The issue again is who the fuck's playing quarterback. If you play Brady Cook, I swear to God, dude, I'll just be aggravated. I don't like the Jets, but come on, bro. Let's be realistic. Let's help our team. Let's be smart. Come on, man. Pick 17 for the Detroit Lions. Now this team needs a couple different things. Corner is a huge one. I think I'm gonna go Terrell here. Um, I mean, I've seen people put Colton Hood up there. Cisse I like too, but I think it's better. I think it's a bigger need. I think the biggest need on this team is secondary. It was so bad all year. Obviously, Reed was not that good. Terrell, or no, sorry, not Terrell. Arnold was hurt in mid. They just didn't really have that much, and obviously even the defensive backs, safeties hurt as well. Joseph and Branch. I do think they could go edge rusher, but I just don't think it's as big of a need. So we're gonna move on to the Minnesota Vikings here. Pick 18. Now, I think the pick just is Caleb Banks. There's not a running back to take here, or or a center. I guess you could take offensive line with Ione, but I'm gonna go Caleb Banks. I just such a easy pick to make here. Um, yeah. So pick number 19 here for the Carolina Panthers, a team that could have used Sadiq as well. I do like Denzel Boston here. I still think they might go with defensive edge again. Pass rush is just so bad this year, and I think Falk is still a good prospect, and I think he is probably just going to be the pick here. It's just best available, basically. Um, you could have gone McDonald. I just don't see it as much, really. I think the edge needs more work. They could have also gone C.J. Allen too, but I don't think receiver is going to be the pick. I really don't. Moving on here to pick number 20 with Dallas Cowboys. Obviously, we took Sonny Styles earlier. You either go corner or defensive end, and I think I'm just gonna go Howell. It's a tough one because it's either Howell or Reach on Hood, which isn't a huge reach. Um, but I just think Howell is probably just the better prospect at this given time. Very good at Texas A&M. They obviously have an edge now that Parsons is gone last year. So pick number 21 with the Pittsburgh Steelers, who just hired Mike McCarthy. Lovely, bro. Great stuff there. Hiring a guy who, let's see, when were they last good? When was he last in the playoffs? Oh, I think it was actually Dallas. But I don't know about this hire. Again, I don't hate him getting hired. I actually do think he should have been hired. I liked him for Tennessee, but I do like Robert Saleh a ton, especially now that he's hiring Brian Dable as his coordinator. But the issue here is they just want mediocrity again, and that's just constantly what they want, and it's just a joke. I still think they're going to take Ty Simpson. I just don't see them keeping Rodgers. I don't see them playing Howard. Simpson is still a first-round prospect, and I think he's good. Um, they are a team that needs to uh, break it down and rebuild, but that's never going to happen with their ownership. So let's be realistic and take Ty Simpson. Kenny Pickett at 20. Ty Simpson is arguably better than him as a prospect. So moving on to the Chargers. This one's, I've continuously taken Ione there. Their offensive guards are so bad. Becton was literally one of the best offensive guards in Philly, and then he's been absolutely horseshit. He's absolutely horseshit all year in Los Angeles. They need an offensive lineman regardless, and I think he would be there. Now, with Philly, I do think Denzel Boston is honestly the pick because I do think A.J. Brown's going to get out of town. I'm going to go with that. I do think they're a team that could definitely benefit from taking a receiver. Obviously, they just hired Sean Mannion today. He was the quarterback's coach for the Packers. That guy's only 33. I still remember him on the Rams and Vikings. So, playing QB. Now, the Browns, obviously, we scroll back up. We took Mowaga. So, it's like Denzel Boston definitely was in play there for them. Could they go another tackle? I don't think so. I think they might just go with Casey Concepcion, which sucks because I really would like the Bills to take him because I think he'd be disgusting with Josh Allen. But there's not really a quarterback. Chambliss, Newsmeyer. I do think Newsmeyer could really move up. He's probably one of my guys I really do think could jump up in this draft class a bit. I just don't see them taking defensive line edge, guard, another tackle. In linebacker, they don't need a ton either. Corner, I guess they could, but I think the obvious pick here is just Concepcion. Unless you have a first round grade on Chambliss, which I just don't think you did. A little too old, and he just hasn't done enough in college to even give that um, first round grade, I guess. Now, at pick 25, I'm just going to go with Caden McDonald. I just think this is an obvious pick. Clear needed defensive line. Grady Jarrett was hurt and not that good. It's just a weird one. You could go C.J. Allen. I don't think they're going to go safety with Warren from Toledo or the guy from Oregon. Dylan Thieneman, right? I think that's his name, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yes, Dylan Thieneman. Now, with the Bills at pick 26, obviously, you really do want to take a receiver for your for your quarterback, right? And obviously Joe Brady is the guy that gets hired there. Do you think Omar Cooper honestly could be a first round receiver or Surratt? You know, Bernard even too. I just don't see Bell. I think Cooper. I don't think Cooper's a crazy reach either. I just think he's a very talented receiver in general. And I honestly think he could be the pick there. I don't think that's a crazy reach, honestly. Um, with how they played at Indiana, he wasn't benefiting as much as he should. And if he played with Joe Brady and Josh Allen, he would definitely benefit a lot more. Now, with the Niners, I'm just going to go with Caleb Lomo. I just think he's a better prospect than Proctor, and I just don't. Proctor is too unknown. 6'6", 330, and what position is he going to play? Is he going to be able to translate to guard if they need him to, or I mean, or as he's expected to do? So instead, the Houston Texans are left off with Proctor. Monroe Feeling. Also, this guy, I want to give him a shout out down here. The guy from Iowa, I believe. Find it. Jennings Dunker. Now this guy is that guy looks like a fucking beast, bro. I just want to say that. Um, but I still think Proctor's probably the pick. They need a guard, and I think he would. I think he should be able to move there. And obviously, the offensive line is fucking terrible. So, in all reality, you need. So now with the Rams, who did take a corner earlier with Ron McCoy, Holden Hood, could they also take him? No, probably not. I don't hate edge rusher because Jared Verse has struggled. I mean, he's a little stunted this year. Tackle you have in here too with Monroe Feeling. That's going to be my pick here. Although I do like the idea of C.J. Allen there, I just don't think it's going to happen. And now moving on to the Denver Broncos, my team. Unfortunately, we lost. Obviously, Jared Stidham was playing instead of Bo Nix. Hopefully, Bo Nix is back healthy and ready for week one. So, who do I take here? I think C.J. Allen's the pick. Would they go Chris Bell? I do like Anthony Hill, as I always say, Jeremy Hard. I just think C.J. Allen's the best prospect, and I think the dire need for us. I mean, most Broncos fans could admit that the dire need is at linebacker badly. We really had a terrible year for our linebackers all year. Drake Greenlaw was on IR. He was hurt again. Stranad, Singleton had cancer. Fucking thank God he got off that. But Hammond, Stranad are free agents. Greenlaw is a cut candidate as well. And then Drew Sanders is the last one, and he doesn't fucking play. He's played like 4 games in 3 years or some shit. He's gone. Get me CJ Allen. End of story. Now with the Pats here at pick 31, couple different options. I'm gonna go with TJ Parker. I do still think he's gonna be a good prospect. And the Pats have a need at defensive end. I think that's their weakness. Obviously, their defensive interior is disgustingly good. I think TJ Parker just makes a ton of sense. And as it always happens, I end up with Colton Hood here at pick 32. I don't know how this always continuously happens. I think he is a very desirable prospect as well. Christian Miller, Cisse, I mean, Mesidor probably could be a first round pick as well. Keith Abney, Hill, Bernard. I mean, you got a couple different guys down here. Thieneman, I mean, I like Stowers too. I mean, Stowers is the guy I want Denver to draft. I know people like Pons as well. Darian Price at RB2. I do think Jonah Coleman might be a better prospect than, but I'm gonna go with Colton Hood here. Yeah, that is all she wrote. It's mock draft. As we see here, as we scroll down through it, those see, I do really want the Bills to get KC, but if they don't, I do like the idea of reaching on Cooper or Surratt. I just think Cooper's a better prospect right now. It's kind of a harder one, but yeah, I might be wrong. A couple, like I say, this range right here is hard. 4 to 4 to 11, basically. Um, could go anywhere. I think Fano is probably the guy here at 3. Um, Reese and Bain is probably interchangeable too. I know Bailey is go as high as 2 as well. Let's not forget. But like I keep saying, a little early. But the Pro Bowl, not the Pro Bowl, but the Senior Bowl game this Saturday, um, pro game, I was trying to say, should give us a better idea of who might move up and who might move down. I know Newsmire's playing in it. I know Malachi Fields from Notre Dame's in it too. The other quarterback is Taylon Green from Arkansas. But we'll see what happens. These guys can really improve their stock. Newsmire was obviously hurt most of the season, so it'll be nice to see him play, see what he could do, really. He's a guy, one of those guys in there, because obviously it's a very weak quarterback class who can really move their stock. So that's all for me, and I will see y'all in the video.